Some of this, what you can do is you could actually count the wings. You could count, not the wings, but you could count the feathers. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, maybe 16 feathers. Could you map that out exactly? Yes. But what I typically do is I start off with the wings by just simply sketching out the rough shape of each wing. Okay? Now, it is important to make sure that the feathers are going in the right direction. If you have all the feathers come out like this, then it's not going to look realistic when you're done. You might think that's how it's supposed to look, but the biggest part of doing a render drawing is drawing what you see, not what you actually think it's supposed to look like. Okay. So I would continue to sketch that out. Now, as you get further and further and further in your details, just remember that we start basic and we continue to work our way towards the detail. Okay? The other thing you might want to do before you get too far along is you might want to measure the proportions. Okay, for example, how tall is this bird? This bird is about that tall. Okay, it's about from my pointer to the end of my eraser. And from the pointer to the end of my eraser actually goes from the end of the face to the end of the wing. Okay? So let's just double check this. On my paper, how tall is the bird? It's about that tall. From the end of the neck to the end of the wing, if I'm right, if my proportions are correct, when I put my finger on the end of the neck, this finger, when I put it right here, my eraser should touch this line right here. Okay? Now obviously I've been doing this for quite a while now, so my proportional skills kind of come a little natural at this point. But it's just something that you want to double check, because if you get too far into the detail, as we all know, detail can take a lot of time. Some people spend hours and hours and hours and weeks and months doing a drawing. But if you don't check your proportions, then it could actually cost you the entire drawing, or else you're just not going to be happy with it. So that's just something to always continually double check. Now, obviously, I'm skipping way ahead, but at the end result, you should start to get as much detail by just starting broad, narrowing it down, narrowing it down, narrowing it down, and narrowing it down to the smallest details. Okay? Now the reason there's no value in this yet is because in the next demonstration I'm going to talk about how to actually add our art medium, which in this case for our first advanced art project is going to be Prismacolor pencils. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out with just some basic drawing skills and techniques. Things to think about as far as your proportions. By the way, something maybe I should have explained earlier, proportions, if we don't know, that is just comparing the size of one thing compared to something else. Okay, so it's like what we did with comparing the height of the bird to the length of the neck and the wing. Okay, those are just comparisons, making sure that everything is lined up and that the dimensions of the bird are still correct. Okay, so hopefully that helped. And again, the next demonstration will be on actually adding our art medium with Prismacolor pencils.